Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We have ourselves a very interesting thing going on here today. I think we got some great news to talk about, of course. And I am Chester C. Busby III, as always, welcoming you here to our show. And thank you for being part of it, as always. Do keep it in mind, as usual. Go down and check out our links and be part of those things, especially over the fan speak that is growing. We're up over 180 people that is part of that community now, and who are posting and putting all kind of great information up. So we're really happy with and excited about what's going on over there. We thank you very much. But beyond that, we definitely have some. We got a lot of news to get to today. But as usual, we just want to come over and say hello to the Denali Lama. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying the sun that's still up in the sky, even though it's 8 p.m.
That's good.
at my time.
Well, I'm glad
So,
that the sun is still in the sky. Would be bad, a sign of something if it wasn't, I suppose. Huh?
who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've had a really busy day. I've been running around,
Doing
and
well.
well, it's early in the morning, but I've actually had a lot to do today. So let me just come over here and say hello because I did forget one thing. Uh, I forgot to share. So, as I share, those of you who have come over and joined us, which we do appreciate, I am sharing at the same time. I usually send this out 30 minutes ahead of time, but I do apologize of being a little late on this. But sharing actually is one of the things that helps us the most to get more people in here because that's what we're really after. I mean, the subbing and liking, of course, we love it. It is awesome. It helps us with YouTube, of course. But we want people to come and join us because we're streamers, right? We're not really. I understand the distinction of a YouTuber being someone who uploads and a streamer being someone who does live streams. So you know, we want people to come and join us here. All right, and there we go. Shared. Sweet. Well, there's
And it's
been
as easy as that.
what do you say?
I said it's easy like that.
Yeah, easy just as that. Yeah, just Twitter and Facebook mainly is what I do. I don't really do a lot of the other stuff. And even Twitter, I don't really even I use it as kind of like a quick email. I actually use it more than I use email, to be honest with you. But I don't ever read or interact with Twitter because that's just toxic. Why would I want to do that? But
Which is
anyway,
funny all around.
well, I mean, it is. I mean, there's some good stuff on Twitter. There's some normal people, but it always seems to go sideways, and it's people can't go more than a couple days without going sideways, and it's just no, thank you. Right? I'm not interested in wasting my time with that, and also I don't have time to go and check it. I check my social media stuff once a day now. Because or sometimes even twice, but usually once a day. When I get up in the morning, I check because I don't have time to sit on social media. But it seems like there's a lot of people who sit on social media all day, and it's like, don't you have a job? I mean, I don't get
Their,
it. But
their
especially
job is to be on the social media.
yeah, but they're supposed to be like I'm talking about people like over at Marvel or DC. They're supposed to be writers or artists or stuff like that. I mean, don't you have work to do? Isn't there like a certain amount of hours a day that you need to put toward, I mean, just myself. I mean,
Hmm.
I put 2 hours a day into an hour to 2 hours a day into translation, and then I have like 6 to 8 hours of classes.
I mean,
I got a lot of things to do, dude. I don't have time to be on social media.
there you could say there's a correlation of how much these stories has been poorly written, and the length of time said writers who are always on social media are writing. A
Yeah,
correlation
yeah. Well, there you go.
doesn't mean anything.
Obi-Wan Reviews is in here, a person who appreciates my use of sticky wickets. Thank you very much, sir.
Mhm.
Roger Heller is here as well. He says, "Hey guys, how's everything going today? Hopefully everyone is having a fantastic weekend. Is it the weekend already?
Apparently, for him, it is.
Awesome, dude. I'm glad you get extra weekends." Eric Hawkins is here. He says, "Hey all, hey Eric, what's going on, dude?" Obi-Wan says, "Has your weekend started already, Roger?" Could say the same about POTUS. Uh, well, POTUS meaning the president. Oh, his social media thing? Yeah, no, freaking good point, dude. He spends a lot of time either on social media or watching Shark Week, and he seems to have a Shark Week anytime he wants, I guess. But yeah, being a politician, I guess, is a little more acceptable that he's on social media a lot because for them, it's all about getting elected, right? But good point. Yeah, because Donald's now the thing is though, does the Donald is he on it himself, which I think is somewhat true, or does he have a team, which I think is mostly true?
I think
I'm not sure. What do you think, Denali?
I don't know. I can't trust the news anymore.
Well,
I
true,
want to
but
believe. I want to
but
believe that it's him on it because it's much funnier if you think that's him on it
oh, I
than
see.
a team.
Sure, sure. Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, he does tweet a lot at the real Donald Trump. And it's too bad he had to actually get that, and so I guess he couldn't get his actual just Donald Trump, right? Someone must have took it. Nightbook
Yep.
is here. Hi, hey, what's up? But all right, well, let's go ahead and jump into our news. We do have a lot to cover today, so we need to get right to it. And unfortunately, we're starting out here today with a bit of sad news. This was actually coming from yesterday, but we didn't mention it because we had supposedly was supposed to be doing a different show that turned into something different. But nevertheless, we're going to mention it today. So go ahead, Denali.
Absolutely. So, acclaimed science fiction author Gene Wolfe dies at 87. This prolific author is best known for the Book of the New Sun that came out in the 80s. He won several prestigious awards, and he's really a humble and very nice man.
Mm.
I'm very saddened to hear him passed away.
Yeah, well, he did live a long, full life, though. 87 years is pretty good. I hope I can do as well as that, because that's a good long life. But of course, the passing of anyone is personally, of course, always personal to us. But
Hmm.
with this particular guy, he's influenced so much. It seems. With George Martin is, definitely lamenting his loss, as well as Neil Gaiman. Now it's kind of interesting with Neil. I've been seeing him in the news a lot lately. Why is Neil Gaiman constantly in my face the past month or two?
Um, because he's also the showrunner for his book American Gods
Hmm.
for uh, I think it's Stars, and that's been having production woes. And also, He's trying to get the final Miracle Man published and some other projects. I can't remember. Oh, Good Omens is coming out as well.
Okay, all
Uh,
right.
with uh, with David Tennant and I can't remember the other guy's name, unfortunately.
Yeah,
As
no, I don't know offhand, no. But I
Yeah.
did notice a couple things in this because I haven't read his books, actually, personally. I need to go
Hmm.
check them out, though. And I've heard of the Fifth Head of the Cerebus, but I haven't heard of the Book of the Sun. But sounds like something I should go read after talking with Denali here. But I did notice a couple things. One, the use of wording and stuff in here obviously is where the Dark Sun people got their ideas from, so that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. And it's kind of like last night I actually learned something I didn't know. I've been living here in Japan a long time, but karaoke. This thing where you sing
Yeah.
along, right?
Hmm.
Karaoke in Japanese is karaoke, but I mean it's just the English pronunciation of it. But kara means empty in Japanese, and oke is actually an abbreviation of orchestra, so it means empty orchestra. I never knew that. I learned that last night actually in my adult classes, and no one else knew it either. So it was kind of like oh, not a hodo type of thing. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, and I didn't know that Dark Sun was obviously playing off his books here. So I definitely have to
Hmm.
go read them now because I love the Dark Sun series from Dungeons and Dragons. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Godspeed, sir. You lived a long life. You made a name for yourself. So good on you. And there he is with Neil Gaiman right there. That's a sad Christmas tree,
Yeah.
though. That's a very sad Christmas tree. Yeah, that's cool
Well, I
though.
don't think he had much visitors at
Probably
that time.
not. Probably not. But yeah, it's good. He's getting some mention, and I wish I had known because I would have brought it up yesterday. But that's all right. I just wanted to make mention of it today. So the passing of Gene Wolfe. All right. Now let's go ahead and move into our news, guys. And it looks like Night Pope has been uh, getting into her studies and 2.5 tests in 1 hour. Ugh. Been studying math for 6 hours. Goodness gracious. Um, yep. Well, the college life I do remember from long ago. I'm glad it's over though. But anyway, this is an interesting little thing. I just want to make a quick mention. I know everybody and their brothers already talked about it, so I'm not going to take too much time with it today. But um, uh, of course, Netflix came out officially and rather demanded that we stop using the word chick flick. And of course, this erupted with everyone saying, "F you, Netflix, will do what I want. I'm an American, yada yada yada." All those kind of typical responses you would expect. We also got responses from actual ladies who make chick flicks saying, "Knock it off, Netflix." But it's a get woke go woke, a get woke go broke moment, of course, as they can't resist themselves. I mean, I don't know what the hell they would say anything, just shut up. I mean, we all know that Netflix is basically, constantly making their content more and more progressive, and there's less and less for me to watch. But they don't need to come out and talk and announce about it. But that's what they did. But I wanted to make a comment on it that I haven't noticed anyone because everyone's been arguing about the various, nuanced points about it. But, one of the reasons we use chick flick is simply because it rhymes, right? The ending is ick
Right,
for both. It's chick flick. It comes right off the tongue. It's smooth. We don't have anything for men. I mean, but a chick flick is a romantic comedy or a romantic movie, right? Where
right.
a man
Our language
movie,
is
huh?
yeah.
Yeah, well, a
I
man
was gonna
movie
say
would be something action, but we just don't have
right,
some nice rhyming, smooth thing like chick flick. It just comes off the tongue, and it's also an endearing thing. I mean, it's something we want to take our girls to for a night out. It's not there's no hate around the word chick flick.
right. I mean, our language is romantic, so we're always looking for romantic stuff
Yeah, yeah.
for to endear ourselves to our lady folks.
hmm And I was talking with Denali before, and where
Mhm.
does this word "chick" come from? And actually, it's kind of interesting. Just as it doesn't mean anything, I guess, but there was a dude way back. You probably, if you ever watched any of the early Shirley Temple movies, you've probably seen him. But his name was W.C. Fields. He was a comedian. He was a big deal. Right back in those days, and he used to say, "Well, my little chickadee." He used to call things chickadee. And of course, he was a very famous actor and comedian, and that chickadee caught on. And by the time the 60s came on, you had all those beatniks, and the Beatles actually pushed it because they had a song all about it, actually. But, the chicks and the cats, the dudes were cats and the ladies were chicks, the cat chasing the chick, right? But this is why this word chick has stayed in our lexicon for so long, is, simply because it's this endearing little thing, word about a lady, a female. And I've actually never heard a lady get upset at the word chick. Have you?
Not at all.
Yeah. It's a cute
But
little peeping, animal. I mean, what's the problem?
right. But at least we know we can blame the Beatles for that popularizing that deeply into our psyche with all the
Yeah.
baby boomers.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a silly little thing for them to do, and no one had mentioned the fact that chick flick, it just comes off the tongue because it's a rhyme, and we love that in English. But I
So,
do see something here that Eric says, "Oh, we have something for that rhymes for men. We just don't say it." Lol. Well, what is it? What could he be possibly saying that rhymes with men? I'm not sure. Go ahead and put it up, dude.
I don't know if you want.
It's all right. Everyone who
Okay,
doesn't want to see, close your eyes. All right, okay.
close your eyes.
Huh. Eric says, it really does. Wow. They said it meant empty orchestra on How I Met Your Mother, but didn't know it was true. Well, I didn't. I never seen How I Met Your Mother, but yeah, it does. I learned that last night, and I just didn't know. Okay, I just didn't know what okay meant. Kare I know means empty, but I didn't because it's an abbreviation of a Western word. Is why I didn't know it. But it's interesting. uh, he's uh, he's not saying it.
It,
Oh, there you go, Popefire. She's dick flicks.
yeah.
Oh, see, that works. That works
Hmm.
though. But Yeah, well, we don't use the word vagina for ladies either, though. I get it, or the other word. Yeah, okay, I guess that would work. It definitely carries a different connotation than chick flick does, but all right. Anyway, Edwin Boyette is in here. Hello, Edwin. He says, "Aloha, listening in on the drive home. Do you remember who won last week's fan edition?" I most certainly remember, and we do. I do believe I sent it over, didn't I? Let me go check. Who was it that won last week? Let me see. Hmm. I have to go check that, Edwin. Denali, let me move on to
Yes.
the next one here, and while I do that, you. Oh no, let's not do that one. You do this one, and let me go check it.
All right, from Collider. Production of the Swan Thing abruptly halted as the future of the DC universe cast into doubt. Basically, they halted the production after 10 episodes. It's unknown if they're going to continue with the last 3 episodes due to budget constraints. It looks like, from other articles related to this story, that Warner Brothers and DC are trying to retool DC Universe in the wake of Disney Plus and what Disney Plus is showing, especially with their contents and low price point compared to DC Universe. So this kind of hit them right square in the uh, golden balls, so to speak. And um, we're going to see how this is going to turn out. And it's kind of a shame that Swamp Thing is had halted production. Now, what we can infer from this is either one, they stopped the budgets to retool the last couple episodes. Two, um, the producers and the network, or I guess DC Universe, did not like how the show was progressing, so cut it off at that time. Or three, they're changing tacks to move forward. So there's these three options. I can only speculate from the other stories I've been able to read and scout related to this story. So it's a shame because we were actually looking forward to um, Swamp Thing being a good thing.
Yeah, no, it is.
And yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, Edwin, Kat won. She was a winner from last week's fan edition. If you have her link, cool. If you don't, let me know, and I will go dig it up. I know she's a little bit harder to get a hold of than some of them, but I know she's been on the fan edition, excuse me, the pro edition before. But if you don't have her link directly, just let me know, and I'll go dig it up real quick
yeah.
for you.
Model
But it was
360.
Kat. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Model 360. What in the world is Denali talking about? Swamp Thing's production has halted at episode 10 due to reconfiguring of DC Universe. Whether that means that they are canceling it, or they weren't happy with the episode, or there's budget restraints. They have realized with the juggernaut that is Disney Plus, they have to retool all their properties because they have 3 properties and old stuff compared to Disney Plus, which is coming out the gate with these hard hitting um, shows that will draw attention and a very low price point compared to them.
Well,
That's what I'm getting at.
let me translate for Denali. They canceled
All right,
Swamp Thing. What? There you go.
there you
Now,
go.
there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this news sucks, man. We've been following this for a while. Really excited about seeing Swamp Thing, especially the people involved with it. We're hoping that this thing would be awesome, and the fact that they haven't announced it's dead, but they've said that they've stopped making it. I mean, it's this sucks, man. Especially with the other stuff they're continuing on with, right? Like, Titans, which was horrible. Doom Patrol's all right. It's much better than Titans, but I mean, man, I was really looking forward to this. But it is what it is, and we just have to pay attention. We will. We've been following this story from the very beginning for Swamp Thing, and we will continue that. But it is unfortunate. But with that in mind, though, since we're talking about this, let's go take a look at another superhero TV show that's coming out, and we get a teaser. right?
Yep.
So let's. This is, of course, The Boys, which is another one we've been talking about since it was announced, and I'm excited about this one. I hopefully they don't screw it up. And this is the first time I'm going to see the trailer, so I hopefully I'm not going to be start screaming at the screen here, because I love The Boys. This is Garth Ennis. This is a great series. I loved it a lot. So I've
Yep.
really been looking forward to this. Nick W says Checha Busby DCU should be a slam dunk for readers, but DC messed it up. Well, they always mess it up. That's what DC does. They screw things up. But anyway, let's watch this trailer here.
Yeah.
People love superheroes. But if you knew half the shit they get up to. Fucking diabolical.
Oh yeah, R-rated
The world's
warning.
greatest superheroes.
Boy, I'm already happy.
And I can do whatever the fuck I want. Huh? Who's up for that?
Oh no.
That's where I come in.
Come in to do what?
Heart of a lion, fire inside me blaze like a siren.
Oh, there's Mel.
Spank the bastards.
Wake up the beast, no I can't keep silent.
How do you spank a superhero?
Now it's my time, your time is expiring.
Bang.
Sweat and tears, I conquer my fears.
Oh my.
Boom.
Cool. Cool.
Hands in the crowd, we tearing it down.
Oh baby. Yes. Yes. I was really worried, Denali, that they're gonna soften that up. They were gonna do some silly thing with it, but nope. They are absolutely going after the boys exactly as they should. Can you believe they did that?
Well, I can believe it because it's not on broadcast or network television, so they can get away with more of this stuff.
Yeah, but no, I mean, the fact that how these companies always water down everything, right? I mean, I'm
Right.
just surprised because that looks full on as it should be, right? And I just really was worried that they were going to take a really light-handed approach to it, or do kind of a soft version of it. But that looks full on hardcore X-rated as it should be, because that book is rough, right? And it's really cool.
Right.
Sometimes you say, oh well, you're just saying bad words for no other reason than the childish need to say bad words, but actually the commentary that Garth Ennis is trying to tell in that is that if superheroes were real, they would be out of control, right? And he displays that with their sexual libido being off the scales, and violence, and just the taking the celeb life a lifestyle to the 10th degree, right? That's how he
Right.
displays it, and then that it's just a really cool part of the story, and the fact that, damn, they're doing it. Oh, I'm excited now. Are you guys excited? Hmm?
I'm optimistic that it'll be good, but we got to see the show itself. Trailers is giving us hope, but at the end of the day, we still have to see the movie
True, of
or the
course. Well, it's a
series.
TV show, but
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. These are treated like 7 hours long movies these
yeah, you're
days.
right. You're right. They are. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited now, man. I'm all happy today, because I was worried about watching it, because the whole time when they announced it, I was like, oh, please don't screw it up. Please don't screw it up. Now we don't know if it's going to be any good, which is Denali's point, which is fair. Which is fair, but the fact that they're not holding back, and they're actually telling Garth Ennis' story, it looks like, in the raw way it should be told. Ah, man, I'm happy about it. I'm excited. Yes. More deconstruction pass. Yeah, right. Just tell the story. I mean, that is a very famous series, comic book series, for a reason, right? So why would you go back and radically change what already worked? I mean, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Right.
Whatever. But that is awesome. I'm really happy about that right there. Okay, moving on. All right. Go ahead, Denali.
Pablo Schreiber to play Master Chief in Showtime's Halo live action series. So there you go. Here's your new Master Chief
Well,
for this. long developing TV show that was announced like about 5 years ago.
Well, obviously he was chosen for his voice, not his face. And of course, Master Chief doesn't need to show his face. But who knows what they'll do? I mean, if we all recall, Sylvester Stallone played Dredd, and the whole movie had the damn helmet off. But then
Yeah,
Carl Urban came in and did it justice. Good for you, Carl Urban. But because this dude does not have a Master Chief face at all. But probably he was chosen for his voice, I would assume, right?
I would assume so. I hope that they don't show his face throughout
Yeah,
and
I
be
don't.
like,
I wouldn't expect they would, and he doesn't look like a Master Chief anyway. I'm sure it was for his voice. Which I don't know this guy. Do you know this guy offhand?
no, not at all.
No, no. But I mean, maybe he's got a good God. It sounds a good voice. It sounds like he was in
Oh,
American Gods. Orange is the New Black. I don't know
yeah.
these.
No,
I watched
I know,
American Gods.
I know who he is. He's the leprechaun uh, in American Guys. He's the Irish redhead that the main protagonist Shadow Moon's getting in a
Oh,
fight with.
well, he looks so much different than this picture here, huh? Yeah, I
Yeah, he
actually
doesn't.
loved his character. He was awesome, dude. He was the best part of that
Yeah,
show.
he didn't. His hair is probably is not dyed red, and he doesn't have the scruffy lookingness that he
I
had in
see.
that show.
Yeah, and I never watched Orange is the New Black. I mean, why would I? I mean, God. But yeah, no, okay, cool, cool. It sounds like they're described as a shrewd, audacious 16-year-old from the outer colonies who meets Master Chief. Oh, okay, they're doing like taking care of the youngster type of thing. Yada yada yada. Cool. I don't know. Of course, I've always been a PlayStation guy. I've never I never was really into the Halo thing. I did play Mass Effect, so I've never actually played Halo, but I respect it. I've seen a few of the animated things they did, and it's kind of cool. So this might be fun. Are you a Halo guy?
Not really. I'm more for the RPGs than first person shooters.
Yeah, no, I don't play much of them either. I'm much more into the MMO stuff. But hey, I do remember Halo though, when it first came out. It was just ridiculous. There were people literally waiting around the block at Blockbusters and things like that to buy it, right, or wherever it was being sold. I mean, it was a phenomena. I never seen a video game sell like that. And of course, these days everything is done online, but they have a major, hits, and I get that. But Halo was something was different. I remember that very clearly. People loved it. So cool. I
It
hope
was
this is
one of
successful.
it was one of the best first person shooters ever. I mean, even now, if you try to do it with Call of Duty, Halo, the original Halo, still holds up, and especially with the remaster series, um, you know, people still enjoy it. But that's what other people who enjoys the series tell me, trying to get me to play the game.
Well,
Uh,
with Mass Effect, that was a really good game.
mhm.
And that's a little bit more over the shoulder type of game. Well, I guess it depends on what you're doing. But uh, when they came out with their Andromeda, though, they absolutely murdered the franchise. I mean, they killed it,
Oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
Halo hasn't screwed that hard up yet. I mean, they haven't screwed up
Well,
to that
they
point yet.
kind of have. I mean, they kind of have because the popularity has waned since Budgie left the series and project, and I think what is it 355 or something? I don't know. Has taken over. It hasn't been the same, and the
Hmm.
last Halo game was a disappointment to a lot of the fans.
Well, we've been
You know,
having a lot of continued series in the video game world, everywhere, actually, not really coming up to par. And unfortunately, they seem to be not putting out finished products. They're putting a lot of politic in, which they shouldn't be doing. It's a video game.
right?
But this idea of games as a service really seem to hurt video games a lot, because the companies, they don't put out finished games anymore. They can put this broken piece of crap in front of you and like, oh, it'll get there in a couple of years. Well, then bring it out in a couple of years. I mean, Bethesda has shot themselves in the foot. EA is a monstrous, stupid company that keeps shooting themselves in the foot. I mean,
Yeah.
what's going on, right? BioWare just looks like it committed suicide. So I mean, BioWare, legendary BioWare, but
Yeah.
they're hanging on by a
And
thread, literally. They just
yeah,
fired a ton of people over there.
they are downsizing
Hmm.
considerably,
Yeah.
and we don't see recovery for that studio in the near future. It's getting that is becoming the same fate of what the publisher always acquires. They acquire, they gut it, and then it goes away.
Well,
Or
they can't seem to get away from controversy. And instead of just saying, "Hey, this is our project, this is our vision, we're going with it," and ignoring that, they're reacting to every little nuance that's being said. Because if it comes out, you either have one side that's complaining that it's too woke and that's nonsense, which it usually is, or the other side complaining that it's woke, not woke enough. Like for instance, the Fallen Jedi or Fallen Knight, I think it's called, that's coming
the
out.
Fallen Order.
Falling Order, there it is, and it's got a
Yeah.
white dude as a protagonist, and how dare they, right? And the SJWs are all up in arms, screaming and yelling about, "Oh, you get another white man," and they won't shut up, right? So it's either one way or the other, right? And these companies, they listen and adjust. They shouldn't. They just ignore it. You have a vision, make what you're making, put it out, do the best you can, and and just
Right.
see what happens, right? But of course they're going to respond. But anyway,
Unless I remind them who actually buy the games, of people who claim to be these social justice warriors or the actual gamers who's
well,
stuck in lawyer.
this is
And
obviously true because I mean we can see this with comic books perfectly, right? Because
right,
even the low, ridiculously low, horrible sales that Marvel and many of the other the big companies are having, even those are not even true, right? The comic book stores themselves are the ones buying those things, and they can't sell them. So we don't even know what the real horrible numbers are, and they're
right,
already ridiculously low. I mean, you have a bunch of Marvel stuff that's like around 10,000 issues a month. What? What are you talking about, right? Do recall
yeah,
there was a time where anything below 100,000 was starting to get shaky, and they would think about canceling it, right?
right.
So it's
I
it's a
seen
really
Marvel
bad.
stuff. Yeah, I seen DC and Marvel stuff in my local dollar store.
Yeah.
And outlet bargains.
Oh yeah, no,
So
absolutely. Because they don't buy it. You're making it for someone a group of people who don't spend money. Now, I don't know if it's simply they don't have money or they don't want to spend. They're frugal, I don't know, or stingy, I don't know. But they don't spend money on comics, obviously, and other areas we've seen as well. Now, some things like board games, for instance, has definitely been affected by this plague that is spreading across the Western world. But board games are still selling pretty well because there's a few kind of on the edge board games that are very adult, very bloody, grotesque, rough. But most board games are made for families anyway, right? So
yeah,
it's not that big a hit to have something that's a little more feminine in its delivery because board games are for families. It's not it hasn't hurt them as much actually, that which is good for them because they've attacked board games as well. I know, it's shocking, right? Board games, of all things to attack, but they have. But
but board games been making a killing. Of course, they're going to attack it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but
So it's not shocking. It's not shocking at all.
well, this took us in an interest. This article took us in an interesting direction, but I hope this show was
Mhm.
good. I did love this guy in American Gods. I thought he was the best thing about it.
Oh yeah.
That's a weird show though. What did you think about American Gods?
Um, I liked the book, and I was hoping that it would stay more true to the book,
Hmm.
but they're putting the whole politics in, and you can
Oh,
kind of
they
tell
are.
where they're
Yeah.
going. So I felt kind of disappointed.
Well, I think the word I want to use is stilted, is what I felt.
Yeah,
I think it has potential, but it really felt stilted to me. It did, but then against the season one, and if you look at a lot of season ones, we used to have more patience, in the past. But if you look at most season ones, I think that it did pretty well for a first season actually, and we'll see what this next season does, because hopefully they'll improve on it because I think the concept is fun. I enjoy the concept. And especially having Wednesday being played by I can't never remember this guy's name, but I love him. Who's the guy playing Odin?
Ian McShane.
Yeah, that dude. I love that dude. Unfortunately, he's also playing the father in the new Hellboy movie, and the new Hellboy movie is an absolute, you know, unbelievable disaster. I mean, it's everyone hates it, everybody, and that's sad, man. That is sad. That's the truth, and he's in that as well. But
Yeah, but he doesn't care. He got a paycheck.
well,
It's just
I don't
work.
know about that. I've heard this guy speak quite a bit, and I think he does care. Actually, he's very serious about his craft. He's one of those dudes. He's not like a Robert Downey Jr. that will, just say, "F off, I don't like your question," and walk out of an interview. He's not like that. He's, I think, very serious about what he does. And so I imagine he does care. But it is funny. There was a little bit of conversation about Brie Larson taking over the number one hated, Avengers spot. Jeremy over at the quartering was talking about it, and it's funny that she would get that honor because we know over the years Robert Downey Jr. has certainly ticked people off because of his prima donna behavior. Chris Evans can't shut his damn, feminist mouth. I mean, that's a hateful fella right there. The dude playing the Hulk, which I can never remember his name either, but that dude can't shut his damn mouth.
Ruffalo.
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
Cheadle is stuck between supporting the gays, the feminists, lesbians, and the blacks. He's just caught. He must be a very tired fella. He can't shut his mouth. War Machine, right? There's a whole bunch of them just can't
Hmm.
shut up, right? But Brie Larson seems to have taken the cake, and she's going to be the new queen of stupid. So nice. Anyway, let's move on.
Yep.
Who lawsuits about?
Oh, yes. So, Stranger Things creator headed to trial for allegedly stealing the idea for Netflix series. So, basically, the plaintiff alleged during a Tribeca festival that he approached the brothers about about a show called I think, Monarch Project, and talked about paranormal. Basically, pitched them the show similar to what they had done, and the brothers are contesting that because it wasn't a novel idea, and I I'm pretty sure they're going to lose this thing because a lot of what he's saying is very similar to what has happened in the show, even if the idea isn't novel enough. That's
Mm.
not going to help them in court.
It is weird because we've seen this happen with STD recently as well, and they're getting sued,
Hmm.
and it looks like they're going to lose as well. And it's like, in the old days, what they used to do, and old days, I mean like, 10 years ago, they would literally just go over and buy you out or pay you money. Like, hey, we like your idea, we want to use it, here's some money. Come over and be part of our project. I mean, simply enough. Now it seems that they're just plagiarizing it straight up and not carrying it, which is weird. It's that's not smart business at all. I mean, because in the end, you could lose significant amount of money because the rewarding to the plaintiff is going to be based upon the success you had, right?
Hmm.
So if you're Stranger Things and you're making lots of money off of your product, well then the plaintiff, if they win, is going to make a lot of money, right? And But then again, Stranger Things kind of had a horrible season two, and it's really lost its momentum incredibly. And of course, those guys getting up and standing on stage and saying, "You we're going to be the future and the progressive and the stupid stuff that they said." That's probably had something to do with people kind of walking away from it. In the third season, who knows if they'll pick it up again or not? But yeah, just stupid, right? Don't plagiarize stuff. Just go hire the dude, right? I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Because STD, they ripped the whole. I mean, it's obvious they ripped their whole structure of their show out of some dude and didn't bother paying him. I mean, really unbelievable
Yeah.
stuff.
That's why STD doesn't feel, look, or sound like Star Trek at all.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it continues to infect people on a daily basis.
Um,
Make sure you get yourself checked for STDs.
yes, exactly. Huge Ass is helping us. He says it's called Montauk, which is interesting.
Montauk.
I
Yeah,
actually
Montauk.
live
Yeah.
near Montauk. I used to. Huge S says, from that thing that washed up on the beach and got everyone thinking a secret, oh, yeah, 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 a secret government facility in an island no one can go to was responsible. Oh yeah, I remember that news actually, dude. Awesome. Thank you very much, Hugh Jess. Joshua Hughes says that example he used on our RDJ in an interview was kind of out of context. The interview was being rude, bringing up Robert Downey Jr.'s past when it was supposed to be about the movie. Yeah, I just kind of referenced that offhand, dude. You're right. But Robert Downey Jr. is a diva, dude. He's always got something to say, and you always have to listen. He is a diva. But you're right. I did take that a little bit of a context. He was, I don't know if he's being rude. He is a reporter, and he does have a right to talk about, hey, dude, you used to have a lot of drug troubles, and now you're seeing a lot of success. How has that affected your life? How's that transition? How you doing? Right? That's a pretty normal question for an interviewer to ask, I think. I don't know if I consider it a bit rude. I obviously, Robert Downey Jr. thought it was rude because he got up and walked out of that interview. So yeah, you're right.
Well,
You're right, Joshua.
I mean, he probably has the right to ask the question, and Robert Downey Jr. has the right to refuse not to answer that
Of course.
question. And if the reporter was pushy and kept pushing him, I could see him walking out.
Yeah, no, he
Like
did. He
any.
did.
No.
And I just used that kind of offhand.
Mhm.
But because there's many examples of Robert Downey Jr. You can talk about that. The most of all of the Avengers are really, really woke SJWs. They really are. It's strange because the one who's really not much of an SJW at all is the woman on the damn team, which is Scarlett Johansson, and
Yeah.
I mean, she's kind of gone along with a few things because she kind of had to, but you can tell she was
Yeah.
doing it under duress. But she's really the least SUW of them, which is interesting. But and Chris Hemsworth hadn't said much. I mean, he's been on a couple of little commercial things too, simply because I don't think he had a choice. But we can tell he's not because of that interview we had with Brie Larson, and she was being way bitchy. I mean, my goodness, she was this on fire level of bitchiness, and you could tell he couldn't stand the sight of her. But she's made a lot of friends over there, so no, don't worry.
Thor's next. Thor will be femaled.
What does
All
Chester
new,
have
all
against
different.
Cobra Kai? That's the trailer we should be watching. Dude, I didn't even know there was one. I'm not really a dude who watched Cobra Kai, but I can go find it. Let's go find it. Let's. Should we go find it? Let's go find it here.
What, Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai.
Which trailer are you talking about? Are you talking about the peek? Are you just talking about the latest trailer? Which trailer are you
I don't know.
specifically talking about?
That's a year ago.
Well,
Uh, yeah, I
here,
don't see. I don't see. Hmm. I don't see. Maybe Denali
copy.
can chip away at that on the back end.
I got it. Here, I will. Thank you. Right here. Boom,
You
go.
put it in the Hangouts.
Yeah.
All right, let me click on it.
Do.
Let me jump down here. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do allow it. Oh, it's doing it again. It's doing it again. I'll come back to that in a second, dude. Let that be happy with itself for a moment, and I'll come back to it. So we'll do that after this bit of news. Go ahead, Denelli.
All right. So the Writers Guild of America sued Big Four agency over packaging fee. Reads the Writer Guilds of America web board message with member update. So basically, they're suing them for the agencies, the ATA, for extreme high fees of packaging. Basically, when they were negotiating for their clients, they were taking more than 10%. For like the example of the creator of The Wire learned like after 6 years into the show that his agency CAA had negotiated 94 cents off a dollar. So the agency, for just negotiating, was taking 94 cents for every dollar he was making. And he was making quite a lot of money at that time. So you can see how much that he was getting 94%. That was almost like a tax of 94% on his thing. So of course, this is one of the reasons why the Writers Guilds of America and the ATA, which is I can't recall what the anger and is, couldn't make a deal, and that's why a lot of writers were putting on their social media, "Dear agency that represent me, you're fired as of that because I'm staying with my guild." And a lot of these practices are actually against federal laws. And they only care now, it's only because it's dealing with money. But that's the story of it today.
All right. Well, there you go. And while you're doing that, I'm on the back end here giving Edwin some information, and I'm also giving the Hangouts link. Why don't you come on in and say hi, dude? But cat for cat's information, right? But all right then.
Mm-hmm.
More lawsuits. A lot of lawsuits going on. It seems to be a constant thing with Hollywood. You would think they would do their best not to share money around, but they keep making these kind of mistakes. But that's just pure greed, is what that is. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, goodness gracious. I mean, 10%, 20 maybe for a new actor, for an agent makes sense. But 93%? What? Goodness gracious. But Edwin, I did send that information to you, dude. And I also dropped a link to the Hangouts if you'd like to come in and say hi to all the peeps. All right. I am going to go over and take a look at. Uh, we'll come. Let's do this first, and then we'll look at that trailer.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Denali.
So John Sierra eyed for Road and Suicide Squad sequel. The role is undisclosed right now, but they're looking to incorporate him into James Gunn thing. So I
Hmm.
don't know what they're doing, but it's, I guess, going to be interesting, weird, and
Well,
something.
it is weird for me, this news that you brought up, because I like John Cena. I didn't really know him until my son really got into wrestling and we started watching, and then, ooh, who's this John Cena guy? And I like him. He's a nice guy. He's a real person. I mean, he actually spends a lot of time doing charities and helping military and kids, and he's a really actual good guy. So I'm happy for any success that he gets. But this dude is not a good actor. I've seen him in a few things. He's really not a good actor. It's not like Dave Bautista. I was shocked when I was like, "Oh, they're using Dave, really?" But he turned out perfect for what he was supposed to be doing. So I guess we just have to trust in James Gunn, because maybe he has a really good skill of getting the best out of a person. Maybe that's his skill, right? Because Dave Bautista was awesome, right? So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't know about John Cena though. Have you ever seen any of his movies?
Not at all. But the trailer is kind of like, yeah, it's it's nothing to write home about. But everybody has their own strengths.
True, true, true. Like I said, I do like him. I'm not disrespecting John at all. But yeah, no, we'll have to see with that. Anyway, let's see what the chat has to say. Hugh Jazz
Mhm.
says Hemsworth is a hell of an actor. Can you imagine the talent it takes to pretend to like Captain Marvel? Right. But we've seen there's a lot of angst going on behind the scenes with her. She came on and made a lot of trouble. And honestly, if you see in the interview sitting next to Chris Hemsworth, or you see her in the interview with Jimmy Kimmel, she's a really difficult human to deal with. And it's so arrogant. Like, I think one of the comments that came off to me the strongest from Brie Larson, which we haven't even mentioned, is her sitting there and saying, like you're going to be, or some, he said something like you're going to be like the next Tom Cruise or something like that. And he was actually trying to compliment her. He's trying to be nice, right? And she says, "No, I'm going to be the next me." And her face, if you look at her face, she was really offended. How dare you compare me to Tom Cruise? How dare you, right? And I am way beyond anything Tom Cruise could be. My God, that's the attitude she had. I'm not joking. She wasn't being humorous. She wasn't playing around. That struck a nerve, right? That's it. This girl is way beyond arrogant. She is absolutely self-absorbed, and this is why she's such a pain in the butt. And then she's getting upset with people for not loving her horrible unicorn store, which is just a self-indulgence bunch of crap anyway. Roger Heller says, yeah, Bautista was good in all of those muscle roles, but he wasn't that good in the sequel to Bloodsport. No, that's why I mentioned that. I think that James Gunn has a skill. And his skill is getting exactly out of the actor what he wants, right? So, you know, I have a feeling it's more it's more Gunn than it is Bautista, and that's why I'm hoping that John Cena will be cool. You know. Anyway, let's go here and watch our last little bit of thing for today, which of course is a
Hmm.
trailer for Cobra Kai season 2. I'm assuming. Yep.
Yep.
And you guys ready? Let me check my volume here. I had it a little bit too loud last time. All right. Oh yeah, no, I saw that one. Eric says there's the even better clip from Hemsworth Larson's interview where she tells him she's stronger than him and she's angry. And at the end of it, she says, "I'm
Mhm.
stronger than you anyway." And he says, "No." He's shaking his head. No, you're really not. And he was talking about his own self. Him as Chris Hemsworth. Of course, he's a powerhouse. But yeah, she just a silly human.
She
Anyway,
was delusional. She was getting a delusion.
Cobra
She was
Kai's back
forgetting
where it
she's not
belongs.
Captain America.
Captain
Or,
Marvel.
oh, I'm sorry, Captain
Ooh,
Marvel.
he's got a
Excuse me.
The real
tattoo and a
story's
hawk.
only just begun.
Ooh, you're old.
Thought you were dead.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Well, they're all old. Everybody's old.
Ever since the tournament, all I've been thinking about are ways to
He actually looks
destroy
pretty good,
Cobra
huh?
Kai.
But opening your own dojo? I'm sure you can
He just
balance
needs a
that.
better hairstyle.
Balance is my thing.
The city's crowded.
We got
Ooh,
some new
that's
recruits.
nice.
Cobras, show them what real karate looks like.
It's just an insane karate cult that's brainwashing half the school.
That's why I'm opening up Miyagi-Do.
Too hot to
All right, so Cobra Kai is becoming something powerful, and he's bringing back.
You got room for one more?
Someday
Mr.
the fight
Miyagi.
may come to you,
Yeah, Miyagi.
and I want to make sure you're ready.
Got you.
Time to see what Miyagi-Do is made of.
She's kind of chunky for a martial
Something
artist.
tells me there's a can of wax in my future.
It's a cruel
All together!
All right,
Which one
people
of you
really
has
like
the
the
balls
first
to take on
season,
the
right?
champ?
Ooh, nice
because it was
take there.
unexpected.
Oh yeah,
It was
see, you think
unexpected.
you look cool, but
better hope
actually you
that
look
your
like a
soldiers
jerk
are
when
ready.
you do that,
They're
right?
kids.
Do you
It was
have a
over.
crush? Is it Robbie?
Now, if you did that in the
fight
dojo
is
I
only
grew up
over
in, you would
when
get in
you
huge
say
trouble.
it.
Let's finish the fight. The sensei doesn't
Ooh,
teach
nice.
destruction and disrespect.
We need to talk about what you've been putting in my kids' heads.
Same lessons I taught you. Strike first, strike
Oh,
hard.
it looks like the bad guy is still a bad guy.
mercy.
Oh, interesting.
Positions?
Oh, Miyagi-san.
These things don't end well.
This isn't a tournament, this is real life.
The fourth rule of
Chick fight.
Cobra Kai. Yeah. Cobra Kai.
You want to finish this?
Bring it
Looks
on.
like they've roughened it up quite a bit, which is cool. Huh. Okay, there you go. Looks interesting. Like I said, I watched the first 2 seasons last year, but because it was free, so I checked it out. Other than that, I didn't watch any more. I thought it was interesting, and it really looked like Daniel was being the bad guy. But it seems like, and Pete, you guys have told me it's like they're both kind of have their things. But it looks like the real bad guy is the original, you know, the original bad guy. He's come back and he's polluting the minds of his students and stuff like that. Okay, cool. What do you guys think of that? Was that fun?
Yeah.
Nick W. He's always quoting me. He says she's kind of chunky for a martial artist. Gesture 2019. Well, she was. She's kind of chunky for a martial artist, dude. A martial artist tend, good ones tend to be fit. And Ray Thulu says the first season of this was so freaking fun. Yeah, no, people love this, dude. Roger says, and I was looking forward to a sequel to Bloodsport. It was good, but not that good. Yeah, the original Bloodsport was one of those things that just hit. And the funny thing is that was based on the life of a dude who wasn't even real. I mean, it's a complete lie, right? But the movie was a lot of fun with Jean-Claude Van Damme, of course. But yeah, what do you think? Did you watch the first season of Cobra Kai, dude?
Oh yeah, it's very good. It was surprisingly good. There's a couple of cheesiness because of it, but overall, you know, a lot when a lot of people are talking about it, they said, and they don't like what's happening with Star Wars. They point to Cobra Kai and say, "This is how Star Wars should handle their legacy characters." While introducing the new characters, because now we care about both the new characters and the legacy characters.
Hmm. I see. Yeah, no,
So,
that I see really well. It's cool that they got everybody back from the original, well, the ones who need it. I think
mhm.
that's really good that they did that. I'm glad to see the series continuing, and these guys are loving it. So that's awesome, dude. Frank Dux. Yes, that's right, dude. Huge ass. Huge ass is a well-informed human, particularly for his quirky name. He lived like a mile from the place that made him the Kumite Trophy. Yeah, exactly, dude. Now Frank Dux was absolutely full of it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he lives on eternally now because they made a movie about him, basically, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it was a fun, great movie too. The remake of this Bloodsport that you're talking about that had Dave Bautista in it, I haven't seen it. But I did see, of course, wasn't there a Bloodsport 2 anyway? No, no, that was called Kickboxer. That was with the Thai, the big old giant Thai guy,
Yeah,
with Jean-Claude. Yeah, that was kind of fun too. But Bloodsport was certainly a big hit for him.
which is kind of funny because all of John Van movies kind of you could interchange the name and it's the same character.
Oh no, sure, sure, absolutely.
So
You know,
so you could consider all his movies a sequel to
oh yeah,
another,
yeah, yeah.
and
I mean,
just and loosely make a plot connecting them all.
Jean-Claude Van Damme made a career out of being able to do splits, pretty much. I mean, I
Yep.
know that's odd to say, but that's exactly what he did. Because he's kind of a pretty boy, and he could do a split like nobody's business, and he could do action pretty well too. But yeah, he has no acting skill whatsoever. He can't even hardly speak English. But then again, our boy Arnold couldn't speak English very well either. But there's something about Arnold though. He had that extra quality, or maybe he was just lucky. I don't know. But actually, the very first Arnold movie I ever saw, I think it's his first one. Maybe it's not. Maybe Pumping Iron was before that. But he did make a movie called
Hercules in New York.
Hercules in New York. There you go. Thank you very much. And they dubbed him completely out of the movie. But Arnold, he had something, and Jean Claude had enough to become part of that action stuff. Actually, the coolest Jean Claude Van Damme thing I ever saw was actually in the Expendables when he was in that. That was cool. I liked what he did in that a lot, actually. But yeah, Cobra Kai, interesting
I like
news.
I like John Claude Van Damme as the Predator in that uh, lobster costume they had him prancing around in the
All
jungle.
right, right. Now I'm glad they changed that, huh? That was Stan Winston's studio that came in and fixed that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was. But wait,
and
walking in the rain. What?
which is kind of funny because Sam Wilson said he was flying to work on that project and he was trying to get ideas and he was talking with James Cameron and James Cameron gave him the idea of the the head look of the Predator.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've seen that documentary. That's a lot of fun. And actually, they're talking about stuff here in the chat. And actually, my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, actually, I believe it's called No Retreat, No Surrender, or is it Black
Hmm.
Hawk? I think those are two separate movies. But I think it's No Retreat, No Surrender. It has Jean-Claude Van Damme in it, and that is a little B movie that is a diamond in the rough. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. That's actually a really cool movie. I think Black Hawk was a different one, pretty sure. But anyway, we're not having a Jean-Claude Van Damme conversation today because that takes preparation. You got to show the Van Damme the respect, I guess. Denali, is there anything else we need to cover today,
Okay.
man?
No, that's it. In an hour, we'll have the Pro Edition drawn in quarter. And then tomorrow's going to be the Fan Edition. Man, amazing how this week has run us by. Join us tomorrow for more comics news today. And if you want to join Chester and us on the panel, just hit him up on Twitter or Facebook and just say, "Hey, Chester, I want to be on the show," and Chester will put you on the show.
I will. And we also have that fan edition of Drone a Quarter tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we always have a great fun time over at that. So definitely join us, please. But other than that, I think we're good, dude.
Excellent. And then, as always, your perception shapes your reality. So always make it a good one. Thanks, guys.
Namaste. Later, everybody.
Aloha.